Hey everybody, I'm Sampy and welcome back to more Diddy Kong Racing. In the last video, we finished the game! Hooray! But this time, we're going to be doing some, well, we're going to get interrupted by TT. God damn it, man! Get out of the way, trying to do an intro. Go away, okay. So this time we're going to be doing some like bonus things and extra bits and pieces that you can do with the game. First off, I'm going to start off with the trophy race in Future Funland. I think I've already said this plenty of times before, but you don't need to do the trophy race to finish the game. You can just completely ignore it. But I'm going to do it anyway just for the sake of sort of completing everything 100% in the game. So here we go. Oh, you may have already noticed though, there's already a trophy in here. Because I have already done it once. I kind of had some technical problems where my microphone was basically turned off for an entire recording and I was just talking to myself for 10 minutes. So I've got to do it again. But anyway, not to worry. So here we go. This is the first race. This is Space Dust Alley, I think. I've forgotten the names of half of them because I haven't played this in a while. I'm playing as Timber as well because I didn't feel like Timber got a huge amount of screen time during the main bulk of the playthrough. So hopefully get a bit more screen time now. I think he only did like half an episode or something before. Let's grab some bananas, want some extra speed. I don't like how far ahead they're getting. It's kind of worrying. Alright, there we go, we've caught up with Bumper a bit. So let's see if I can shoot him down. Yes! That was a good shot. Proud of that. Whee! Alright, so that was pretty uneventful. Wanted to go into first, so I just stayed there. So anyway, that's the first place finish on Space Dust Alley. And that gives us 9 shiny points. So let's move on to race 2. Dark Moon Caverns. Whoa, what was that? That homing missile just missed me because I think I got onto the loop just before it hit. And then it just kind of shot past. That was crazy. Alright. And that's another win. That was pretty uneventful really, other than that weird homing missile. So that'll give us another 9 points, that's 18 in total. And I'm already 11 points ahead. Whoa, don't lose control on the bridge, okay. For a second there I nearly flew off. That would have been bad. Well, so far this has been a pretty uneventful trophy race, that's another pretty easy win. I mean, they're still right behind me, but they didn't really contest me at any point, so... Anyway, that's another 9 points. That pretty much takes us well clear, I think. Wow, I've absolutely destroyed them. I don't think I've ever seen, apart from myself, the board that even. That's really weird. Anyway, on to the final track. Spaceport Alpha. And I've obviously won this no matter what happens here, but another win would be nice. Let's hope for the best. Go! Shoot them down. Well, this may have been the most uneventful trophy race of the playthrough. Another win. That's really surprised me how easy that was, to be honest. I was expecting that to be the most difficult of the trophy races, and I won pretty comfortably in every race. So a full 36 points, and we get our final shiny gold Wizpig trophy. Yes, isn't it beautiful? Well, sort of. Anyway, that's the last one, and that's pretty much everything done now in the game. That's 100% complete. So, why don't we move on to the next thing I was going to talk about. Here we go! Okay, so you've just beaten Wizpig for the second time, and you think you're all done. But then you come to the game select screen, and you notice there is an option for Adventure 2. Now, Adventure 2 is basically the same game as Adventure. It's kind of like Diddy Kong Racing's hard mode, I guess. But there are a few key differences. The first one, which is kind of only a subtle difference, is that you will collect silver balloons rather than golden ones. As you can see, Taj dishing one out right here. The next main difference, and this is probably the most obvious one, is the tracks are all mirrored. So if you think Mario Kart's mirror mode, you've kind of got something, you know what you're expecting. The CPUs are also a little bit harder in Adventure 2, so kind of look out for that. And another difference as well, which might not be that apparent to begin with, but you will start to notice it the further through the game you get, is the silver coins are in just horrible, horrible positions. They've all been moved. So let's take a look at some examples. Okay, so here's one example. On Jungle Falls, the original coins, there's one placed right on this edge here. Now you can see in Adventure 2, this coin is actually placed out over the water. So if you've got to get that, you've simply got to jump into the water to get it, which is a much harder position. I think the idea is you grab the blue balloon from earlier on, and using a green boost, you sort of shoot over there, and you should, hopefully with a bit more speed built up, fly over the water and fly straight into this one. This coin has also been positioned sort of slightly more over to one side. What's going on here? Okay, so that makes it difficult to get. And then of course there's this coin on the bridge here. Originally it's in the centre of the bridge. This time they've put it way over to this side, so you've got to risk falling in the water to get it, like I just did. So anyway, let's look at another example. Okay, we're back in Frosty Village. Originally the coins were all just along this road in sort of very easy to find places. This time, however, this is probably the ultimate dick move when it comes to silver coins in Adventure 2. They're actually out here. There's one here sort of out to this side, and then there's actually a whole string of zippers along here, I guess to help you keep up your speed. But then if you go back to the other side of the track, back at the beginning, just going and getting everyone's way, there's another one off to this side. How on earth are you supposed to spot these without knowing they're already here? I have no idea, but absolute dick move when it comes to positioning coins in Adventure 2. So, right, let's move on. Okay, magic codes, let's talk about those. So you need to head to the options and head down to the magic codes option, and you will see this lovely screen. Now, I think I've touched upon magic codes briefly before. Every time you view the credits, you'll be given one code at random at the end. We were given two codes, Who Did This, which simply allows us to watch the credits again, and one called Toxic Offender, which turns all the balloons on tracks to green. There are plenty of other codes to get. I think the original idea is that you kind of just beat the game a lot and sort of collected the codes through the credits. Nowadays, of course, you can just Google it and you'll just find them all very quickly. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about every code because there's quite a few of them and a lot of them do sort of similar things. But I'll just talk about a few of the sort of main ones or my favourites or whatever. Most of these codes won't affect Adventure Mode because there are a lot of them that affect the gameplay in some way. Most of which would be sort of a benefit to you, which will make the game easier, and they've kind of tried to cut that out by only making them available in the tracks option. So anyway, enough of that. There's a few codes to begin with though that do come into effect in Adventure Mode, and the first one I want to talk about is, have I spelled that right? I think I've spelled that wrong. No, I have spelled it right. Okay, Arnold. That turns all your characters big, sort of in old style. You know, sort of in the style of a lot of old games where they had like big head mode and that sort of thing. Makes all your characters big. And there is also another code which does along the similar lines is, if I can remember how to spell it, TEENYWEENIES, and that makes all your characters small. So if you like, I'll put up a little comparison on the screen now just to show you the sort of difference between the big, the standard and the small characters. Just a little aesthetic change, just for a giggle, nothing major. There's also another code that I particularly like. This is one of my favourites. BLABBERMOUth. This code is, well, it just describes it as a horn cheat there, but basically when you press your horn button, normally you would obviously toot your horn like so. So when you've entered the BLABBERMOUth cheat, rather than tooting their horn, the characters will spout out little nonsense phrases that they usually do. So that was one of my favourites as a kid. Okay, so another couple of cool cheats are Joint Venture. This allows you to play the Adventure Mode with two players. Pretty self-explanatory. I've never really done it myself, so I don't know if there are any major changes to it, but it's pretty cool. There's also another code which could sort of go hand in hand with that one very well, and that is Double Vision. Basically, if you play in multiplayer mode, you can all select the same character, should you desire to. So if you want, you could go into Adventure Mode and everybody could play as Diddy, or everybody could play as Bumper, or whatever character you prefer. So, I'm not going to go over all the codes because there's a lot more. If you want to see the rest of them, I will put them all in the description, so you can just have a look at them at your leisure. Now, another important thing is the code list. This allows you to see which code you've entered, and if you want, you can turn them off and turn them back on again. Obviously, when it comes to character sizes, you can only have one of them on at a time, otherwise it just kind of doesn't work. Also, quite weirdly, Control Drumstick appears as a code, and if you want, you can turn him off. That just basically makes him vanish from the character select screen. I don't really know why it appears as a magic code, but it does. So there you go. If you want to turn him off, you can do. I don't really know what the point of that is, but the option's there. Okay, that's enough for magic codes. Let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so now it's time to talk about time trials. Now, there is actually a point to time trials in this game. They're not just a sort of fun, beat your own score kind of thing. So what we're going to do is I'm going to head into Ancient Lake, pick the default vehicle for that track, which is a car, and then turn time trials on. And the first thing I need to do is just set a time. Any time will do, doesn't need to be particularly amazing, so I'm just going to do that quickly now. Just bear with me. And done. Okay, so that's set myself my first time, so there you go, new best time. You can enter your initials. I'm just going to leave his DKR because it doesn't really matter. And once you've done that, you need to select try again. And once the game loads up, you will notice there's something different. There is a TT ghost there, and it gives you a little message. So the objective now is to beat TT in a race around, well, Ancient Lake in this case. So TT is actually pretty good. You need to concentrate on getting as many bananas as you can, good lines, and you do need to use green boosts, which I forgot to do on that first booster up there, because I'm so used to not doing it. There was also my own ghost on this track. Whoops, that wasn't very good. You can kind of look at the map to see where he is. Oh, there he is, he's caught up already. So you need to concentrate, like I say, green boosts, get lots of bananas, good lines. TT's pretty good, so it's pretty tough, but I should have got this in the bag. I did Ancient Lake specifically because Ancient Lake's one of the easier ones. You can see he's just behind me. The other dot on the map, by the way, is the previous ghost, so you can see kind of how my previous ghost, so you can see how average that is in comparison to using green boosts. But anyway, that's, whoops, don't miss that. So that's a bit of a dodgy finish. But there you go, yeah. It gives you a little congratulatory message and tells you to try another track. So that would be your objective in the time trials. Now, I'm not going to show them all because it's going to be kind of boring just watching me do time trials. But if you can beat TT on every track in the game, that includes all the Future Funland ones and that sort of thing, you will get a very special prize. And boom! TT is a playable character. Oh yes, TT is by far the best character. I just did all those time trials off screen really quickly because no, I'm lying, I didn't. I used the cheat system on the emulator to unlock him. He's actually quite difficult to unlock. To beat TT on every track is quite difficult and it takes quite a lot of time. And I couldn't be bothered, basically. So I just cheated. But yeah, TT, he's actually pretty fast. He's the fastest character in the game, faster than Drumstick. Let's just run onto the island so you can just see what he's like. There we go, little silver car. Honk honk. And yeah, this is TT. He's the fastest character. He's got pretty decent acceleration and handling, but his speed is by far the best. It's like a... If you were to rank, I think all the other characters in the game are kind of ranked out of 5. And... in terms of like their abilities and stuff, and TT is like a 6 out of 5 on the speed scale. So, but you can see this is kind of weird, is that TT doesn't disappear from the lobbies, so you can be TT and talk to TT, or I would if I could get his attention. So yeah, this is kind of weird. TT talking to TT, but yeah. Anyway, so that's TT. That's how you unlock TT during the time trials. So definitely worth your time. Although at this point there's not really anything left to do in the game, but still, it's pretty cool. Okay, as promised, here we go, Wizpig without green boosts. Okay, so there's something weird I want to point out right at the start. I have watched a few other videos of this done on YouTube, and there seems to be something a bit different about the version I'm playing. Wizpig seems to be faster at the beginning. As all the bosses do, they always sort of run off a split second before go to get themselves a little head start. But Wizpig, in this version, goes really quickly. Now, I haven't got any footage to compare with because I don't want to just steal somebody else's. But I've seen in these other videos where the first couple of steps off the line Wizpig takes are really slow, and if you get a good boost, you can actually get ahead of him there and stay ahead of him for sort of a small portion of the race. And if you're lucky, he'll sort of give you a little kick from behind and sort of pushes you onwards. In this version, though, Wizpig is kind of, well, he's a lot faster off the line. His first couple of steps aren't slow and you just sort of go straight to top speed, and getting ahead of him at the beginning is pretty much impossible. I tried it with a bunch of different characters and different timings for the boosts, and the best I could do was get about level with him, and then I'd instantly drop back. But my first thought was it was probably because I was playing on an emulator and maybe the sort of game speed was a bit messed up or something like that. But I then went back and tried it on my console version, and it does the same on there too. So I don't know if it's just different versions around the world or the different regions or something like that mess it up, I don't know. But anyway, on with the actual race. So, as you can see, I'm using Drumstick. At this point you wouldn't normally have TT unlocked, who would be the fastest character, because to unlock TT you obviously need to do the space-time trials, as I've already mentioned, and to get to the space levels you need to have beaten this Wizpig race. So anyway, so the hardest part I found about this is kind of the boosting over the water sections, kind of here and then this bit up here as well. The water seems kind of random, it's kind of hard to describe. Like sometimes you'll boost over the water and you'll be fine and you'll carry on going, and other times you'll kind of clip the top of it and you'll just lose all your speed. And if that happens, it can kind of ruin your race pretty much instantly. There's also it's also kind of bumpy in places, this track, particularly sort of on that last bend near those last few boosts, and you can get kind of bad boosts there if you're unlucky as well, bad bumps, sorry. And you kind of, again, you'll sort of might fly sideways into the wall, or you might just lose all your speed. It's very difficult. It took me about an hour to do this. I'm post-commentating this, by the way, if that wasn't already clear. And this was probably this was by far this was the only run I've won. So all the others I was just way behind, and even on this run, as I come to the end, you can see that he's still just right behind me. Even though I had a pretty clean run, so it's very difficult to do. But yeah, that's it. That's Wizpig without green boosts, and that's pretty much everything that I wanted to show and talk about for Diddy Kong Racing. So I think we're about done here, to be honest. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I will be back soon with more videos of stuff and things and stuff. So, yep, I've been Sam Pete, this has been Diddy Kong Racing, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye, everybody.